probably you have to do any particular merger or acquisition out here in Australia. That is what is known as a foreign direct investment, directly investing, right? And if you are purchasing the shares of any particular company out here, that is known as portfolio investment. Is it clear to all of you what is foreign direct investment and what is portfolio investment? So we are talking of foreign direct investment that is coming out there in India and in green technology, right? And now the question arises that what exactly is green technology? Again, it is struck, though it was very well working. I think some issue again, a technical issue. Yeah, now it is fine. Yeah, it's working now. Now, yeah, it is working now. Now the thing is, what exactly is green technology? Since we are studying FDI and in green technology, you can see these are the examples of green technology at your homes, right? The examples are, let us say, solar panels, if you can see that, or probably your energy efficient appliances, your LED lighting, then your electric vehicles, smart thermostats, water saving fixtures, rainwater harvesting system, smart power strips, home energy monitoring systems, to name a few. Now, I hope it is clear to all of you what is green technology. And then what is FDI? FDI means you're investing in such kind of businesses, right? So the research that we are doing is on FDI in green technology, that is which all companies they are investing in India, which all countries they are investing in India, and which all states they are investing from various countries, right? So you can see here, this is the objective, to study the trends and flow patterns of FDI with respect to green technology sector in Indian economy, and analyzing the impact of FDI through technology acceptance model. So there is one model which we have used for analysis and interpretation, and that model is your technology acceptance model. Fine. So you can see here that this is a research design that is followed. So we have done this research sector-wise, we have done it state-wise, country-wise, and then FDI in different companies. So the model which is used is technology acceptance model, and the respondent side that we have taken is 260. After filtration, it has come out to be 200. Now, these are the foreign companies which are investing in India. One is just SoftBank. It is a Japanese company, a Japanese conglomerate. Then the second one is Total, then Tesla, then Enel. And most of them, they are investing in India in electric vehicle segment. An electric vehicle is again the part of your green technology. And EV market is coming in India. You know how it is flourishing in India. So the companies are Total, Enel, SoftBank, Tesla. Then we have Vestas, we have BYD China. So these are all the companies.
Dr. Shweta, we can't hear from there. There's an audio issue, looks like.
Now, is it audible now, Kanesh?
Yes, sir. So it's audible now, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you can hear me? Yep.
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Well, I was about to thank Dr. Navleen Kaur so much for inviting me to collaborate with her on this research. And it was interesting that what we found is that both in Australia and India, people were very keen to embrace new technologies. So here it is. The market is ready for it. The market is ready for it. We just have to deliver innovation. And I think to deliver real innovation in these technologies, we need universities, industry, and government working together. And I think that's something that we should look at innovative ways that we might be able to engage them all so that we can bring them together for mutual benefit. Now, if you look at what Minter Ellison did a report on what Australian companies are expecting to do, there's a lot of good news in there. There's a lot of good data in there, and this will be available to you as part of the report. But you can see that 3/4 of the respondents say they're going to increase investments in Australia. That's fantastic news. 90% of them prefer PV solar as the investment, and 46% say hydrogen will catch up with expectations. So I think you can see that the market sentiment is positive. Now, the Australian government has got plans as well, and their plans cover modernising Australia's electricity grid, reducing transport emissions, installing, by the way, transport emissions in India are about to be dramatically reduced because electrification of 2- and 3-wheeler vehicles is on the fast track in India, faster than anywhere in the world. So I think that's exciting. So in Australia, community batteries and solar banks and so on. So you can see, or finally, the point there is skilling for a clean technology workforce, which is the next element. Now, look, I've got a headline there that says Australian superannuation. You may be more familiar with calling that pension funds. Yeah. Now, you might think of Australia as quite a small country in population, but did you know it is the 4th biggest country in the world for wealth management? How about that? And that tells me something. The potential to attract Australian superannuation money into India is something we can collaborate on. Already, some of the superannuation funds are investing in infrastructure, and we think we can get them into clean technology. Australia has a natural advantage, but I want to finish by talking about the Amity University advantage. You have elite business schools, you have elite research, you have a culture which is based on thought leadership. And I think these are the ingredients that can give Amity University an ongoing advantage in clean technologies and in the advancement of the Australia-India collaboration. So thank you so much for listening to me again, and please enjoy the rest of your time in Melbourne. Thank you.
Which is the next one? So over to you, Shweta. Okay, shall I?
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen and Dr. Navleen. It was a wonderful paper and absolutely novice topic to work upon. So it's a beautiful presentation. May I now call upon Ms. Prabjeet Kaur Handa from University of Western Sydney to present her paper. And also the technical chair, there's a request that she seek for a genuine feedback for the paper.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Is this not? Okay. So hi everyone, thank you so much for the opportunity. To the Monash University, thank you, and Amity University as well. Thank you for conducting this conference so that I am able to come here. Thank you to Mr. Singh and Ms. Shweta Nanda to encourage me to give an opportunity also to present here. And in addition to that, I would like to start with acknowledging and showing respect to elders past and present on whose land we connect today here. Thank you so much. So I am Prabjeet Kaur Handa. I'm studying Masters of Research in Western Sydney University. And here I am presenting my research proposal, and I expect feedback from all the experts here. Okay, so starting with my co-author is my supervisor, Dr. Neeru Sharma. I'm in consumer behavior marketing field, and the topic I am going on is exploring the influence of attitude, structural assurance, and perceived control on buy now, pay later services usage in Indian market. So starting with, next slide, please. So I'll just go through the abstract and then a little bit introduction and how I'm going to do it. And then I'll be open to feedback or any suggestions anyone of you will have. So in this study, theory of planned behavior and theory of technology acceptance model is also used to understand the influence of attitude, structural assurance, and perceived control of usage of BNPL services. Based on this theory, individual calculates in their mind about gains and risk, which forms their attitude that leads to intentions and usage. Whereas convenience and structural assurance, which I'll be taking from technology acceptance model, privacy and security consideration, digital financial literacy, and subjective norm builds the attitude and intentions of usage. So literature says that the usage of BNPL, buy now pay later services, develops impulsive buying, and that's the reason for that is convenience to use, and which can develop compulsive buying, which have negative consequences due to overburden of debt. So I propose to in this study I'll be evaluating the influence of perceived control and attitudes on buying behavior of BNPL services usage in Indian market. To study this, the study will employ convenience sampling by recruiting around 200 respondents from India with the help of connections on LinkedIn and connections who can help in gathering data from different. So as it's a convenience sampling, theory of planned behavior, technology acceptance model are used to explore the determinant of BNPL usage. This study will be using moderators like age, gender, income, and length of BNPL usage to further explain the usage here. The data will be collected through online survey platform Qualtrics. For analysis, I'll be using descriptive statistics, correlation regression, and structural equation modeling. And this software I'll be using is SPSS and Smart PLS. It is expected that outcome of the study will show significant understanding of the role of behavioral control in balancing impulsive and compulsive buying tendencies in BNPL usage. Going forward, who will be impacted, who benefited with this study? So first will be individuals. May I please request to go on the next slide? Thank you. Yeah, so the one who will be impacted or will be benefited through this study first are individuals. By this study will help individuals by providing knowledge on their attitude and perceived control, and thus will motivate them to take informed decisions, and thus consumer will not only lay down on benefits. Secondly, it will benefit businesses to make strategies as per the benefit of everyone. So type of businesses that will be benefited could be financial institutions. They can make the proper strategies to for the potential customers. And the second kind of business that could be helpful could be consumer education and counseling services, who gives counseling to the to individuals, and then help them by understanding the attitudes and how they react on a usage of some products or services. Third could be e-commerce companies. E-commerce companies can use this study to understand the why, like why people are using it, and trying to understand their attitude, and as per that making their strategies. So thirdly, next slide. Policymaker can use this study for focusing on the regulations that would encourage BNPL service provider to perform responsible lending practices and policies which could be made for consumer protection. Next, I'll just describe a little bit about how am I gonna go with this. So firstly, what is BNPL? I hope you all must have heard of it. Buy now, pay later is a convenient payment method that allows one to make purchases without having to pay them upfront. So maybe in installments, it depends on how you take that service. It can be in 4 short installments or 6 short installments, and that also without interest. Would you believe that? And okay, let's just talk about some of the BNPL services in India. So Paytm Postpaid, Ola Money Postpaid, Amazon Pay Later, and Flipkart Pay Later are some of the famous buy now pay later services in India. BNPL market of India was valued with INR 950.31 billion in financial year 2022. That's a huge, and it is expected to grow a lot. And India being a developing nation, it's in early stages for revolution, and this BNPL is expected to reshape the credit landscape in the country as the time goes on. Next, so I have taken the consumer behavior concepts and constructs in this study are under attitude are convenience, digital financial literacy, structural assurance in the form of trust and security of using the service, subjective norm, and then intentions to use BNPL services and their actual usage, and the perceived control. Under buying behavior, I have taken impulsive buying behavior and compulsive buying behavior. So as the literature says, India is a developing nation, obviously, and BNPL sets to reshape its credit landscape as the time goes on. Study shows, can I please go to the next slide? Yes, thank you. So some of the studies in 1992 back showed that there were no evidence how consumers buy financial services is any different to buying in journal, like buying in anything of daily items. But whereas other studies give significance on consumer attitude and perceptions toward financial services. So out of which in fintech industry, consumer attitude plays a vital role in purchase behavior, where factors like ease of use and cheaper services and easy accessibility motivate to adapt the services. Second factor is affordability and structural assurance in adapting the fintech service adoption. Moreover, in digital financial literacy, next slide, please. Moreover, in digital financial literacy also plays a vital role in spending, saving, and investment behaviors in fintech industry. Consumer perception of risk also plays a major role. BNPL usage develops the impulsive buying behavior, and which is due to which there is overburden of debt. However, there is no study which shows the evolution that the person's behavioral control, which is represented to be negatively correlated with the impulsive and compulsive tendencies for Indian market. So thus, I propose, I am studying this. I am exploring the influence of attitudes, structural assurance in the form of security security and privacy consideration, and digital financial literacy and perceived control for buying through BNPL services in India. So the framework I'll be using is, okay, the research question I have. Yeah. So I have 4 research questions on this. So first is how to convenience structural assurance, digital financial literacies, subjective norm and influence individuals' attitude toward BNPL services, and to what extent are these attitude influencing the buying intentions and their actual usage. The third question, my research question, is on the basis of what is the role of perceived control in impulsive and compulsive buying, and the moderators used to understand all these things are age, income, gender, and the length of BNPL usage. Next. So framework I have used. Is a theory of planned behavior and a technology acceptance model. Technology acceptance model was just explained in the research paper just before me. In the theory of planned behavior, it is understood that attitude, subjective norm, and perceived control affects the intentions to buy, and that affects in their actual usage. So I'll be trying to understand these 4 factors: convenience, structural assurance, digital financial literacy, and subjective norm. How is it affecting attitude, and how these attitudes are making the customers to individuals to intend to buy, and their actual usage, and how is it helping them to do the perceived control, helping them to do control the impulsive buying and compulsive buying. So these are the hypotheses I have made through this framework and using these all 4 questions. Next slide. For that, I'll be using the methodology. So methodology will be starting with the questionnaire refinement and getting the feedback, like I am approaching here to all the experts to give me some feedback on how am I doing, like how is the process and everything. Is there any chances of improvement or not? So first of all, I'm in the process of questionnaire refinement already, and I'm getting the feedbacks for that. After that, I'm also preparing for my ethics approval application. After getting my ethics approval, which is expected to get in January, I'll be doing pilot study with the 20 respondents. After understanding how the individual
Dr. Shweta, there seems to be a sound problem again.
it's okay. Yeah, thank you. For
It's
the
fine.
one slide back. So analysis method I'll be doing is descriptive analysis first of all, and then for understanding the basic characteristics of moderators like age, income, what I have just told in the previous slides. And the software I'll be using is SPSS. In the next step, I'll be doing correlation and regression to understand the basic relationship between constructs. And the software used will be SPSS. In the next stage, I'll be doing hypothesis testing using t-test and ANOVA testing to determine significance difference between groups or conditions. For that, I am expecting to use smart PLS. And in the last stage, I'll be doing structural equation modeling to get a clear understanding of relationship between multiple variables. And for that also, I'll be using smart PLS. So yeah, after completing this study, I might present in front of all of you, maybe some of you, my final report as well. Thank you so much. I'm open to feedback.
Questions, if any, or feedback? Any professor?
I have a question for you because we're doing similar things and using TAM models, etc. You explained that you will do a test pilot of 20 and then hopefully get 200. We were expecting 280, and then when the data collection happened, we just got 198, and we had to move on with it. I think you need to consider higher numbers if you want to get to 200. Use aim for 300 at least, and then because you have to clean it up, as you said, and you may have many people that don't respond. So yeah, that's my suggestion too.
Thank you so much. That's a meaningful one. Dr. Santosh would like to add. Okay, so thank you, Prabjeet. That was a very nice presentation. Online, if we have Dr. Yuri, is there? From University of Canberra. Well, quickly, I can see them in the participant list.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Hello.
Welcome,
Yeah, can you hear me?
Dr. Yuri. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Yuting. Just one moment, please. I will share my screen.
Okay.
Yes, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
visible. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I can start. Good afternoon. My name is Yuting, and today I want to talk about the topic related to the evaluation issue of parameter settings of ecological system method. Use the case of distribution of Sonidev. So for the species distribution is a kind of ecological modeling. It employs species occurrence data and the environment raster layers with computer algorithms and modeling to simulate or estimate the target species distribution in selected geographic spaces. For the SDM has been applied for many purposes, such as for the decision makings related to the environment protection or conservation areas. Also for some other purpose, biodiversity research, and also sometimes for the investigate the climate change. However, there still have embedding challenges. The first of all is related to the SDM uncertainty. It has been related to many different kind of elements. And also they have evaluating the performance of more SDM with the different parameters, and the evaluation is very rare. Normally people will ignore to analyze the method to evaluate SDM robustness, which would have influence of parameters and evaluation methods. So this research, the object is to encourage researchers to consider investigating more evaluation method selection rather than just applying standard statistics methods. And also this this study contribute to provide more reference for configuration parameter training strategy in ecological modeling, and also will improve the robustness of STM in all uncertain scenarios. So for this study, we used the data for Sonidero. It's collected from the Atlas of Living Australia. And totally after the data cleaning, they have 759 records. For the environment data, we use the water climate's current climate. It's just from the 1976 to 2005. We just pick up 12 variables for particularly which is more suitable for the Sonidero. And for the algorithms, we selected with the GLM, FDM, Maxent, and SIE. Pick up some of the configurations and the tested values from some of other biodiversity research recommended configurations and parameters for the test. To evaluate our species distribution models, we pick up 4 popular evaluation methods, which also have applied in many of evaluations for the SDM or other ecological modeling research. The first of all, like the area under receiver operating characteristic curve, true scale statistics, kappa, positive predictive value. So based on this, we use SDM to simulate those models and collected all of their evaluation results and their distribution maps. We compare the value and those distribution maps. We pick up some of important distribution maps to compare it. So we look at the Maxent distribution maps, we find out the CR equals to 5 configuration have things like the better performance also included CR2, because CR2 got a higher list TSS score. However, CR5 got the other 3 higher list evaluation scores. But however, we can find AUC have a lot of similar scores at here, even though we compared with selected other 2 configurations like WRW equals 0.33 or WRW equals 0.12 equals to 66. We can find that they have the distributions have a minor difference. They also have the similar issues occurred at when we look at SRE algorithms. We got the higher list evaluation result for the PPV comes from the with the model quantile equals 0.05 or 0.1, and we got the distribution maps. They are quite different, and also for the if we look at the WRW equals to 0.55, it can got higher list scores at EUC, kappa, and TSS, but except to the PPV. But for those, we can compare those maps are quite different with those best recommended parameters. So it would be increase the difficult to us to select which models would be better. For the GLM, it also have the similar issues. For the GLM, the RL equals to 1 have the highest AUC scores at here. And however, except AUC scores, the control model could got the highest score at PPV, kappa, and TSS. And for the other 2 models we selected to select WRW equals to 0.25 and 0.5, which have the same scores with the control model, but we can at the AUC. But however, we can find that they have obviously different in their simulated result. It still have the similar issue at the FDA. In the FDA, control model got the best for those evaluations. However, meanwhile, the WRW equals 0.55. This one got the highest PPV at among those models. They still have the same issue at the resampling equals to 100 or 10. They also have the same AUC, but however, they are even though AUC are same scores, but their PPV, kappa, and TAS scores are quite different. And we also can find that their distribution maps have some difference. So when we analyze those distribution maps and their evaluation results, we could find out there have some selected evaluation method could identify the worst model without distribute in all model methods. We can easily to find out which models is worst at those model sets. Meanwhile, we also can find out those recommended better models from different evaluation methods might have conflict sometimes in some scenarios. They provide different recommended models configurations. But however, when we compare their performance and the distribution maps, they are quite different or have some different. By the way, we also can find that the PPV have different results from the other evaluation method when we were working on the parameter tuning. This difference could lead people find a parameter that could not have a good scores in other evaluation. And also, when we look at the AUC shows a noticeable shortage in this experience. We could not find, it's hard to find out with the changes from the parameters in some scenarios. We could not find that they have any contributions based from the parameter changing or configuration changing based on AUC. And meanwhile, it also sometimes will provide some different results with other evaluation methods. So all of those issues will increase the difficulty of the configuration and the turning of parameters for those models. Each will increase the more issues when people try to improve the SDM or try to optimize their SDM. Particularly, currently have some of SDM packages provided a few of evaluation methods to turning SDM automatically. But however, such as they select AUC to turning SDM. But actually, based on our result, we need to consider more strategies for the model's performance, particularly for turning SDM. So, in conclusion, the arm of this study, we discussed the influence of configurations, parameter settings, and the evaluation in SDM for the Sony-Deva distribution case study models. We find out in some model sets the configuration changes need to distribution maps change, obviously, or other evaluation scores change or notice. However, sometimes still AUC keep the same value in those models. Different evaluation methods have conflict scores in some Sony-Deva distribution cases, and their simulate maps are also different, which could be potential risk in improving SDM performance. We need to looking for a new strategy to evaluate SDM. Or we could consider more evaluation methods to validate and look for groups that could perform well in SDM parameter tuning. For the future, for this limitation of this study, we need more further cases from other algorithms and evaluation methods to validate the issue we talked could repeat at other cases or scenarios. And we also need to, in the future, we also need to looking for a strategy for selecting suitable evaluation method and validating the better models and its configuration. That's all for my topic today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuting. A big round of applause, please. That was a real hard work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now may I request Ms. Bhavna Kumar to please join in for the presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Very good afternoon to all those in Australia, and good morning and good
A
evening.
very warm welcome to the presentation.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever the research scholars and everybody is joining in. I'm very privileged to have been given this opportunity to present my research paper, which I have done under the co-guidance of my guru and the Group Vice Chancellor of Amity Universities, under whom I'm also pursuing my PhD. This is a part of my ongoing PhD, which is in the area of internationalization of higher education. As a part of the study, this particular paper is a interpretation of the global student mobility programs with special reference to higher education scenario in India. And I have tried to utilize structural equation modeling, SEM, for the same. The vision for this particular study came from the fact that in our country, we only have a gross enrollment ratio of 27% vis-a-vis so many other countries. We talk about being a 1.4 billion population. There is a huge demand from college aspirants, but somehow the Indian higher education sector has constantly seen more of an outflow of students going abroad. Even the students in have a gross enrollment ratio of 80%, but the continuous increase in the Indian students going abroad, and soon, in fact, already in a way has already surpassed the number of students who are going abroad from the country of China. Almost 70 billion US dollars are being sent by Indian households towards foreign education, and this is expected to rise in the growing number of years. My study is on higher education internationalization, which has also further been revamped by the Revolutionary National Education Policy, which has been talking about taking internationalization at home, bringing in study in India, trying to have Indian campuses abroad. We already, actually being a part and as a research scholar of Amity, we already know how Amity has been a pioneer in international campuses abroad, and the ongoing study abroad program is only a testimony of the fact that there are many more ways to achieve transnational education and also bring internationalization in a wider framework than just promoting students to complete their full degrees abroad. The need of the hour vis-a-vis the national education policy is that there have to be more innovative, there have to be more flexible academic models which actually have more relevance. There are more than 53,000 institutions and universities in our country. If they are not able to bring the gross enrollment ratio from 27% to 50% by improving the internationalization at home, then who can? Hence, the objective of this study was to look at how internationalization can not only be in the terms of bringing branch campuses to India, which we have already seen by Deakin University and Wollongong in GIFT City, which is also promoting the foreign education to come to Bounders, or have campuses abroad. Vis-a-vis, we already have multiple universities like Amity having campuses abroad, and now IIT has also opened its campus in Zanzibar. But also look at other models, which are the twinning arrangements, the institutional linkages, the joint ventures, how the curriculum validation and best practices from different countries can be disseminated into each other, and the very, very popular factor of student mobility, which we have been seeing an outflow, can we somehow bring that brain drain into a brain circulation, wherein the students are not only going abroad, but there is also an inflow, and there is a constant recognition of the fact that how internationalization of higher education can be gained through better student mobile programs. Hence, this study focused on particularly examining how this national education policy can be adapted by Indian institutions, particularly in the area of student mobility, which is the focus of this particular paper, and what are the kinds of interventions, the institutional support, the kind of practices that Indian universities in particular can adopt that can lead to better outcomes, better student satisfaction, and have short-term international student mobility programs with a better learning outcome, with a better practice, with a better brain circulation at the end of the day. And if we are able to produce better student mobility models in the context of India. We have already been seeing short-term models hugely popular in Europe in terms of Erasmus, the New Colombo policy of Australia. But how can Indian universities look at international student mobility, and why not use some kind of a structural model which can help to design short-term international student mobility programs in a better hence the concept of student mobility was studied in the form of a rigorous literature review. And there is, I think, no doubt that there are a lot of students who are studying abroad, which is also shown by the figures of OECD and other reports, which show that there are at least about 6.1 million people who study outside their own countries. This number is not only expected to grow in leaps and bounds, but also be dominated by India in the coming future. If that is the state, then what is it that is theoretically can be used to examine the concept of student mobility? So I took up specifically the two theories which have been widely popularly used in the area of migration, the theory of migration and the theory of spatial theory. So the push-pull theory, which is the underlying factor of the law of migration. What is it that people are pulled towards when they go towards a particular foreign destination, and what is it that prompts them to leave their country, their home, or their company to go to a new territory, to a new company. And the spatial theory, which is also very interesting when trying to understand internationalization of home, because the concept of people being in a same space together, the concept of global actually mingling with local and leading to a better interaction of international students with domestic students with international students, whether it is students going from India to abroad or abroad coming to India, provides a very good theoretical framework. For the purpose of developing the model, and for testing the validity of the model before launching it on a bigger data bank, we looked at the push-pull theory to start with. The concept of more than so many million students outside of the world, the predominant factors being the pull factors, and the negative factors being that they don't want to study in India and want to go abroad, that being the push factor, coupled with how is it that the mediation factor, which is the interventions, the university. So the Indian universities and institutions, if there is institutional support, if there are better policies, if there is better clarity, if there is a better academic model, which can intervene and be able to reduce the impact of the push and enable the impact of the pull factor. And all in all, the result was studied with the independent variable, which is the fulfillment. That is the most important when we look for in the world of education. Are the students satisfied with the mobility program that is being offered to them? For the purpose of developing the pilot and trying to make a better structured equation model problem, we took up this as a primary study, and we took 30 outbound undergraduate students. We tested them on a 5-point Likert scale. The concepts being restricted for getting a better clarity of the structured equation model on the push factors, pull factors, institutional interventions, support factors, and the independent variable of whether the study abroad program has been well designed, executed, a learning experience, and academic value. This particular software was used was AMOS and IBM SPSS. there was a goodness of fit measure, which was first of all computed, and the validity of the model was first tested. There was positive correlation which was established between the push and the pull and the fulfillment factors. There is a positive impact when the students have got a popular intervention, which is through the university or the institution or the mentors or the faculty who are driving them to understand the push and pull towards the preferred global student mobility program. However, because we are currently utilizing this as a pilot study, and we will be going on to use this on a wider sample of 500 students who will be going for a study abroad program. At the moment, the limitations are this was just to understand the concept of applying a structured equation model on the concept of particularly short-term student mobility program. And going forward, the future of this particular research will be very useful because it will help to add on the additional factors which are likely to have an impact on the better design of mobility programs, which include the country of choice or the area of studies, an engineering student vis-a-vis a management versus a biotechnology and psychology student, the age of the student, the gender of the student, the credit transfer policies which are particularly very important when we talk about short-term mobility programs. What is the timing of the study? Are we sending the students in a particular first year or second year or third year? And does that impact the fulfillment factor? Does that impact the push and the pull more? Is a younger student likely to have? These additional factors have also been captured by this particular study, because along with the quantitative sample, we also collected briefly qualitative factors in order to make the structured equation model more stronger and to be able to apply it in a more meaningful manner on a wider base of 500 students across countries, areas of studies, timings, and also taking in more qualitative factors such as the cross-cultural sensitivities. This was my summary of the
Thank
present research paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bhavna Kumar. And it's a very beautiful topic and underpinning the most imperative area these days. May I request the audience for please have a huge round of applause. Also, may I request any questions from the audience and the judges, the panelists? Anybody who like to suggest or have a question to it? Can we move ahead? All right. So next paper again from University of Canberra from Mustafa Sadab and Professor Masood Mohammedian, who will be presenting again with respect to Mustafa Sadab. Thank you.
Thank you. My apologies on behalf of myself and Mustafa. Mustafa is just one of our international students from Bangladesh that just finished his master's degree, and basically he has got his first job, and he asked for time to do the presentation, but they didn't give him. So I'll be presenting. He finished his master's degree, and this is the results of his master's degree. It's very in a very simple way is that during COVID and even after COVID now, this research is done in Bangladesh. The number of people that are going online and purchasing and doing e-commerce activities has increased, and this is due to the shutdown of the country, shutdown of the shops, etc. So many activities and purchasing went online. So the idea here is to identify the relationships between people's understanding of cybersecurity based on their age, gender, education, employment, etc. So very simple problem, and basically we wanted to find the factors that affect consumer attitudes towards purchasing online, and also not only that, but also their understanding of the cybersecurity issues. Because with the large number of people going online and purchasing online, the number of cyber attacks has increased, the number of cyber scams has increased, and we wanted to know if there is any relationship between education, age, gender, employment of the people, and to the knowledge of their cybersecurity. Very interesting, and this all done in in Bangladesh, in the largest cities. So it's just a sample representative of that country, because I think around 80 million people. You cannot just do a sampling of a couple of hundred and say that's all true, but this is just give you a sample of the 3 cities. Then we chose the 3 biggest cities that has got the large number of cultural diversities, the capital, and the 2 largest cities, Chittagong and Dona. So very simple idea. The questions that is represented here, there were 4 questions. He has put in 2 questions for this paper here. What are the factors associated with cybersecurity and that affect consumer purchase behavior in Bangladesh? And to what extent do these factors affect consumer attitudes in e-commerce? So does the understanding or better understanding of the e-commerce actually helps in better shopping or more shopping or not? That's the questions. So we look at 2 things, the attitudes and thoughts and beliefs of the people, because the culture is different than culture of many other countries, although in Australia we have got lots of people from diverse countries, so it's a melting pot here. And then consumer attitudes that influences these factors and beliefs. So we have used the theory of reasoned actions. So the whole idea is that what are the effects of attitudes of the people, their beliefs, their understanding, and the culture, and the other subjective norms to the intentions to purchase online, and their attitude towards cybersecurity. So we look at a few things. First is age, and we went for 280. We wanted to collect as much as samples as we can. But we just got 280 back, and from the 280 responses to our surveys, 80 of them we had to put aside because some of them were not complete. Some of them just didn't make sense. So when you do sampling, you have to be very careful with that. So the whole idea here is with the age group, they're between the age of 25 and 34. And we look at their income. We look at their income and also their education level, age, education, gender, and them. So with the age group 23 and 25 and 34, the hypothesis is what's the relationship between age and purchasing behavior. We really didn't find anything. So it did shows that in the age of 25 and 34, really there's no significance in the age. So with the gender, we also most of the surveys that came back, they were male, and we don't know why. Many females didn't respond in Bangladesh. So and now I think one of the reasons was that it was distributed in companies, and they were all male-dominated companies in IT, etc. Yeah, and finance. So they see more men, therefore more responses from men. So you can see the gender. 66% there, 66% were male and 35% female. So we find that the gender had no issues. Actually, they had no effects on their purchasing in Bangladesh. In many countries, you think males do more purchasing online or females, but in Bangladesh there was not the case. Education level had a great significance, and on the way people went online and did the purchasing, and you can guess it, because with more education, they've got more knowledge of internet and the e-commerce and purchasing online. And although we get to the point that we'll talk about the understanding of cybersecurity. So with the socio-economic factors, of course, the people that were working, they were mostly employed, that the people that answered to the survey, and they mostly purchasing. So the hypothesis that the education affects your online purchasing came true. And maybe you would expect that because they have got more knowledge of IT, more understanding, but not necessarily more understanding of cybersecurity. So knowledge of cybersecurity. So we have hypothesized that cybersecurity knowledge does not influence the attitudes towards e-commerce. And basically the finding shows that the p-value of less than, at the 0.001, which represent evidence to accept alternative hypothesis. So basically, the cybersecurity knowledge is important. If the people that have got better cybersecurity knowledge purchase more based on the survey that we conducted. The other thing that was very interesting, and that's in Bangladesh, and I don't know how you, as the people that are using e-commerce, respond to this, is that if you've been tricked once or scammed once, are you going to continue, purchasing? And the answer was yes. So really, we didn't find any relationship between those people that wasn't scammed and those people that were scammed. Both of them continued purchasing. So even if you're tricked, scammed in Bangladesh, based on our survey, you still continue purchasing online. And this is maybe something that you can continue with this research to look at why people do this. Very interesting stuff. The website quality was very important, and the people reported that if the quality of website is easy to navigate, etc., they prefer to purchase from those companies. Finally, secure payments was an issue, and in Bangladesh there is an issue with the credit card and credit card acquisitions, and we find out that the secure payments people didn't really care about it, because the only options they had to go for, with PayPals and other methods that is already secure. So not everybody has got credit cards. So willingness to continue shopping after COVID, and the answer is yes, because once we learn this behavior, we believe that you will continue purchasing. And now you can purchase from different parts of the world the things that are not available. So that's very, very obvious. Finally, our final discussion and findings. Basically, the age and gender had no effects on the purchasing online. So it doesn't matter you're male or female, or the age between 25 and 34 that he is looked at had no influence on, purchasing behavior. So everybody purchased in that age. So if you're marketing towards certain genders or certain age in between 28 and 34, so it's actually useless, because it has got no effect on the purchasing behavior. And what came out of this research, which is very interesting, is that the people that are tricked online, they continue purchasing and going online. And we still don't know why, but I think they have no other options, because if you're living in a country that certain products are not available or they're very expensive, so you just have to go and purchase them, even if you've been tricked a couple of times. Thank you very much. I have to stop here so that I give opportunity to the next person to talk.
Thank you. A very huge round of applause, please. Very nice presentation, and the key points which have very particularly eminent. Thank you so much. Now, the last presentation is from Abdul Majid El-Harthi. I'm just checking in if there's he's already there online.
Hey, hello. Yes, I'm online.
Oh, great, Abdul Majid. Hey,
Yeah, just let me upload my
presentation over to you, please.
Yep. Right. Hopefully, everyone can see the slide now.
Yeah, we can. And also, if you increase the size of the screen, I'm trying. Yeah, here we go. That's great.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdul Majid El-Harthi, and I'm a PhD student at Canberra University. First of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this conference. Then I will start doing my presentation. So basically, my paper is investigating the user experiences with the Internet of Things, IoT, and their awareness toward IoT privacy and security in Saudi Arabia. All right. So this is basically part of my PhD research. The agenda for this research: first, I will start with the purpose of the study. Then I will talk about the justification. Then I will go through the research problem, the research questions, the research aims and objective, the hypothesis, and then I will talk about the theoretical framework model that I'm using in this research. Then I will talk about the methodology, the study population and the sample sizing. And then lastly, I will talk about the expected contribution to the knowledge and the limitation of the research. So the purpose of the study, so that the Internet of Things, or IoT, involves the connection of devices between each other, easing the productivities and eliminating the tedious process of operating machines directly. However, there are privacy and security issues involved with it. So this research study will investigate what security, privacy, and safety risk Internet of Things devices may bring, and how aware people are about these risks, how the user can minimize the risk of being hacked or attacked, and what manufacturers can do to make a safer Internet of Things devices. This study stand to examine IoT-related cybercrime legislations in Saudi Arabia as well. So a wide range of studies has been conducted concerning information technology and the risk involved in using the internet and storing informations on cloud. However, little has been done involving the Internet of Things. So the IoT arena is relatively new and is now growing significantly. So technology is still growing and calls for further research. So it can be exciting to embrace smart devices in different settings, but there are risks that people could be unaware of. Most people are aware that there are risks involved in using the Internet of Things. However, most of them believe that such. Yes, can you hear me?
Just if you could recommend the meet, and we can have the best announcement of the best.
Can you hear me or?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So most of the people are aware that there are risks involved in using the Internet of Things or the internet. However, most of them believe that such breaches would never happen to them. Therefore, assessing their understandings of the issue associated with IoT is worth the case of this research. Also, due to the misconception that cybercrimes, particularly those related to IoT, are not condemned offensive in Saudi Arabia, so many of those who became victims do not report their experiences to the government or to the agent. This is simply because of lack or absence of awareness, or perhaps misconceptions that Saudi Arabia doesn't have sufficient legal systems regarding to IoT-related cybercrimes. Therefore, the study proposed to uncover IoT-related cybercrime law in Saudi Arabia and examine what extent existing law are sufficient to raise local and international cybercrime or cybercriminals. The research problem. So many security organizations define IoT as possible increase technology, and its risks are quite real. So for instance, using smart devices such as TVs or baby monitors or even refrigerators could be a site and send a spam notification, which can lead to unauthorized access to data or unauthorized access to the network. So hacking of smart homes or power plants consequences can be serious, tragic. A considerable number of those who became victims of cyber crimes still do not consider reporting their experiences to law enforcement agencies. So people in the internet, what we call them netizens, do not have one set of rules governing them, and some spaces allow for many leniencies. So however, because of the dynamic nature of the internet, and the increased possibility of cyber crimes, there is need for legislations to protect the user from malicious attacks or acts by people in the internet. So Saudi Arabia has been progressively, when it became to IoT, with many efforts directed to the development in this area by organizing exhibitions, showcase people ideas, giving them platform to develop their innovations. However, there are needs to equally progressive measures toward the security and safety of the users' informations. There is a need for legislations to ensure that smart devices do not become tools of violating the privacy of the user information or tool of specifying the user's information as well. To do so, engaging the users is necessary. So the first step to do this is to analyze the user experience and their awareness of the security and safety issues involving the IoT. Additionally, the rapid growth of the computer crimes that and the information of the law in different countries addresses the combat IoT-related cybercrime issues. Therefore, analysis and discussions of the current legislations and the countermeasures used to combat IoT-related cybercrimes in the country are necessary. The research questions for this paper. So the first, we have identified 3 questions. What security, privacy, safety risk do people expose themselves when they connecting their home devices to the internet? What are the user experiences with and the awareness of information security, privacy, safety issues with IoT devices? And the last questions, what are the countermeasures that the users and manufacturers could do to combat the security, privacy, and safety risk for IoT devices? The research aim and the objective of this study. So there are opportunities for Saudi Arabia IoT cybercrime legislations to explore the protection of the user information, the privacy and the security. So the study aims to explore both Saudi users' experience toward the information security, the privacy and safety issues with the Internet of Things, and to examine the IoT-related cybercrime legislations in Saudi Arabia context. In the line with the research aim, the following primary research objectives are identified. First, to identify the security, privacy, and safety risk that people could expose themselves when connecting their homes devices to the internet. To explore the user awareness of the information security, privacy, safety with IT or Internet of Things devices. To explore the user experience with information security, knowledge, privacy, and the safety issues, and to gauge the level of awareness of the information security issues among the users, and to gauge the level of understandings to measure the protections of their information among the user of smart devices. Also to investigate and identify the account measures that the users and manufacturer could be combat the cybersecurity of the Internet of Things devices. Also to investigate and identify the countermeasures that the users could be used to protect themselves in terms of using the IoT devices. In this study, also we have addresses some of the hypotheses. So basically, we will look at the age factors that influencing the user experience and the behavior in using IoT devices. Also, we will look at the gender factors influencing the user experience and the behavior of using IoT devices, the education level, the knowledge level of the information cybersecurity and privacy, the previous experience and awareness, the cyber attack experience, the cyber crimes perceptions for the influence of using the IoT. And so basically these hypotheses will be used to measure or to understand the user experience and to understand the user awareness of using IoT. Also, in this research, I use the theoretical framework models. So this study basically employ three systems theories. So we're going to use the technology acceptance model TAM, the unified theory model, the social network models. So all these models are integrated together to examine different variables to understand the factors that affecting the user perception to use the IoT devices and to understand the user awareness of using IoT devices and to understand also their awareness of the security and the privacy as well. The methodology of this research, basically, this research study is focused on the user awareness toward the IoT security and privacy. A quantitative approach will be employed to provide outcomes and better understandings of the research problems being investigated. So the study
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Because the idea still starting.
Yeah. So you can continue. Are you there? Not here. So are we still connected? Coming, not connected to audio.
hello.
Hello, yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you
All right.
now.
So I think we have
There was a disconnection in between.
disconnections between in the.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So basically, this study will use quantitative approach. So the study will involve the estimation of the percentage of the people who have experience using IoT devices, those who are aware of the issues surrounding the devices and identify how to protect their devices and systems from privacy and security and safety concern. The method of the data collections are questionnaires. So the questionnaires will be testing the awareness of the user of the IoT devices and their experience using them.
Somebody forgot his above, because
All
I
right.
have mine. Porter has his.
So the research will involve statistical analysis as well for quantitative aspect of the research. The study populations and sample size. So in this research, basically, we will involve participants to be 18 years old, Saudi citizens, male or female, with extensive use of the smart devices. And basically, based on the Harry Addison's the observations, the proposed observations between 15 to 20 observations for each dependent and independent variables should be used to decide the sample size. So basically, we will be have sample size between 225 to 300 respondents. That's what be needed. All right. The expected contribution to the knowledge. So this research will add on the available knowledge on how user experience using IoT devices and how much aware they are with the issues that surrounding the usage of the IoT. By analyzing the existing cyber security laws of Saudi Arabia, we can find out how they will be used to define or defend against the cyber crimes in Saudi Arabia. This research expected to identify the user experience and awareness of cybersecurity related to IoT and the law in Saudi Arabia as well. So the results can be used by decision makers to possibly have educational campaigns if required to improve the user awareness and knowledge of cybersecurity related to IoT and the current laws to better lives of the community members. The limitation of this research. So basically this research will be limited to the Saudi Arabia context. The result cannot be representative of the users of IoT devices in other countries and regions in the world. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions,
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful work, Abdul Majid. Thank you so much for your work. And I request if there are any questions in the audience. Okay. Professor, do you have any question? In that case, before we wind up the session, we quickly move to the research paper presentation awards and we'll wind up. Please give me a moment.
Do you travel India? In Delhi. Because there's a good campus, very big campus. I've been once there. Yeah, yeah. That I have met.
Professor, would you like to announce by yourself? I will appreciate that.
Yes,
Both of you.
Yes, yes.
Calling Gurinder sir also.
yes, sure.
And somewhere.
Yes, yes.
You do the work. I am not very clear. You do that.
No, you be together and take a picture.
No, well, I stand by your side, but you
Yes,
do the
sure.
thing.
I think we're getting to the end before we have to leave.
Yeah.
But Professor, you have my card, so don't forget to.
Your card, I didn't
Don't
get
have?
it. But I thought your number
Yeah,
might be there.
yeah.
So I don't have card.
Doesn't
Sorry.
matter,
Yeah.
you email me.
Yeah.
And if you come to Canberra, please stop by,
Mm.
you can give a talk. Yes, and we can provide accommodation.
That's good.
Yes, sir. And of course, we go for dinner or lunch.
Yeah.
So if you're going to Sydney or that way, let us know, please. Because we have a operational research.
Okay.
People there.
You may please have a seat and just
Yeah, sure.
waiting for Dr. Gurinder
Okay,
to join
okay,
in.
no problem. You like a cup of tea or something?
Yeah.
Can we get?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Can we come?
Being said.
Hey, I was thinking we have to vacate this room.
Yeah, that's a university thing. They have given me a 5 o'clock window. So he's just coming. And then.
Okay.
Okay, by the time you can please grab a tea. Thank you. Please join us on the stage. Veteran professors, esteemed Dr. Gurinder Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor. So here it comes. Well, we are winding up the session. First of all, I like to thank all the paper presenters and nevertheless, all the students who have been patient enough since morning. And also you have captured lots of information today. I'm sure that will help you for your case studies as well. So before we go ahead and we wind up, we'd like to announce the Best Paper Presentation Awards as adjudged by the jury out here. So I'll keep it. Should I give it to you? So, well, they are first, second, and third thing, which they have given it to us. The first paper presentation goes to Ms. Bhavna Kumar. Please share a huge round of applause. The second goes to Mustafa Sadab and Professor Masood Mohammadian. And the third goes to Ms. Prabjeet Kaur Handa. Thank you so much for your participation. Could you please bring the certificates which to be felicitated, the best paper presentation thing? A huge round of applause, please.
Thank you so much for your guidance, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the third one goes to Prabjeet Kaur Handa, University of Western Sydney. Thank you. And also, how can we forget the presenters, all the presenters who have worked very hard and burned their midnight oil amongst all the SAP programs running. They were contributing in for the paper presentation. So we would like to have a due. We'll also have the paper presentation awards for them. May I request for the paper participation award, please? The first goes to Professor Navleen Kaur and Mr. Stephen Menelak. And then we also have for the online presenters, which we have already shared on their mail IDs. You have in your hand for someone? For some? Can I see?
Yeah, we have so many. This certificate partition to chodo.
Okay, I'll quickly announce that. So this is the presentation, paper presentation, one, and that is for Professor Masood. Then for Professor Mustafa Sadar, paper presentation, research paper presentation for Prabjeet Kaur Handa. Yeah, please come. Paper presentation award for Abdul Majid. And the paper presentation for Yuting. Yuting, are you there online? Yes, I can see you. Or we'll also mail that on your, we'll hand it over to Professor Masood as well and mail it to you also. With this, I would like to quickly hand over to our esteemed Group Vice Chancellor.
Thank you, and many congratulations to all who have contributed. I could see very qualitative, highly qualitative papers. I was given to understand a large number of papers came. A few were given an opportunity to present. But what we saw and the statistical analysis of the problems, the hypothesis under which you have been able to conclude, I think that they were very thought-provoking. We liked few papers quite a lot. I think that there was a paper on higher education. Was very impressed by the finding. There was a paper on the green technology, which was actually very thought-provoking paper. There was a paper on AI. I think that on which we really liked the analysis which was done. The student papers, especially, I was very impressed to look at the quality. All those shortlisted papers will be a part of our Springer series. And we are coming up with a dedicated 7 series now from Springer and Taylor and Francis. And these are going to be very high impact research series. Thank you to Springer for giving us exclusive series now onwards, which we'll be releasing in Australia and also in Singapore next week. But I'm sure that students who have participated, they will enjoy the participation, and the certificate which you are getting, it will have a lot of meaning wherever you will apply or wherever you will send your nominations for. Thank you so very much once again on behalf of MIT University and Monash University and Springer and our partners from UK. We want to congratulate all those who have participated and all those who have made this research paper contest very successful. Special thanks to our Monash team, if they can quickly come here. 3 of you, IT, administration. I think that all of you had made it possible. Since early morning, I could see you people working tirelessly. So congratulations and yeah, and thank you so very much. Yeah, yes, yeah. As a token of our appreciation, if all of you want to come to India, it will be a fully sponsored trip, which we will fund it. I know that about 300 students from Monash are coming. So along with that, we will be very happy. And I'm requesting Dr. Shweta and Dr. Navleen to write a special letter of appreciation as well as a scholarship for the team. I think untiring efforts were done by the Monash team. From the last 1 week, I was getting reports, the way they were organizing, daily meetings were being held, and the way the entire event was being organized right from the very beginning, decor, lunch, and then looking after the guest. It seemed to me as I'm sitting at MIT and our own team was working day and night for it. Thank you so much. That's what partnership is all about. And special mention to the students who were very disciplined and listening very thoughtfully. And tomorrow, many of you are presenting your case studies. Take home good lessons, research lessons, which are going to guide you for all times to come. But good to see that students who are into research and who are contributing so meaningfully. My special thanks to the professors who have helped us not only to judge the event, but since morning, sitting with us, working with us, so closely, and some of our friends who are traveling from Canberra, from Sydney, and from other parts of Australia. I would say that, Professor Masood, I think there is no conference where you have not contributed. We look forward to have a special series with you now. I think that both Dr. Shweta, Dr. Navleen will be in touch, but we will also want that under the special series which we want to come up, we should work together. And this is going to be a good research outcome out of this conference. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
May I request the technical team to please close the session for the day? Thank you.
Thank you.